Why, hello, it is I, Chris Brogan, with The Brief. This is news, stories, ideas, and interesting things I've found from around the way that I share with you that might help you understand what might be coming in the future for your business, your life, or whatever. If you want to follow along with the stories directly, you don't have to listen to me. Go to chrisbrogan.com/CBM, and you could do this yourself. I cover all the stories there. You can follow along, and you can just do it yourself. This is made on Ecamm Live. It's the easiest way to do Facebook Live on a Mac. You should make your own show like this. You know, I would totally watch it. That's for darn sure. Let's see, as I'm recording this, it's late morning. My son made me a sandwich. This sandwich contains Nutella and, let's see, can I show you? Nutella and marshmallow fluff and some peppery jam. I don't think I'll be able to eat it during the show. I was thinking about it, but I'm not. Google has released its year in search. It's kind of interesting to watch these year in searches. The number one most asked question this year in Google's year in search was how. How do wildfires start? How far can a North Korean missile go? How much will the wall cost? It's very interesting to follow along and read the Google year in search because you never know what's going to come of it. I think it's very much an interesting storyline to follow because it's interesting that how was one of the most popular questions. I am always making fun of Simon Sinek's book Start With Why because I think why is something of a privileged sort of question. And I think how is a much better question to ask. So good for us and good for Google for sharing that in the year in search. One of the little dirty secrets of AI is that there's still a lot of humans behind the scenes that need to be working on it. Well, that's actually a plus and a minus because there are low-wage workers that are driving this labor market. So there's a lot of little chores that AI isn't so sure about, and you need a human to look over the shoulder. It turns out there's going to be a lot of humans brought into this space. This is a huge, huge revenue space insofar as there's got to be someone kind of watching the backs of these computers to help them understand what they don't understand. This is kind of worth taking a look at just because this also, you know, when we say low-wage jobs and it sounds like a terrible thing, there are lots of low-wage jobs in the universe, and sometimes people could benefit from having those low-wage jobs. There are huge rural swaths of America even where people don't have work. They're underemployed. This could be something they could pick up. Besides, in the gig economy, there are ways like Amazon's Mechanical Turk where people can do these kinds of jobs as just sort of side work as other stuff that they're working on. This was interesting / wicked disturbing. So in San Francisco, a homeless people population was being bullied around by a bunch of robots that were coming to shoo them and make sure that they didn't come and set up camp places. This is totally true. So the SPCA, the San Francisco branch of the SPCA, has been ordered to stop using their robot because they were sending this robot around to bully people. Basically just kind of this nutty scenario where they were saying, you know, hey, come, get off of our streets, that sort of a thing. So the good news is that is now retired. It is no longer part of the deal. The SPCA can no longer send their robot out to go and harass homeless people because, not for nothing, but that sure sounds like some crazy space future or whatever. In this article, this was interesting to me. This is from Business Insider. They're saying that we are now nearing our peak media consumption, and that over 12 hours of media consumption per person today, according to Henry Blodgett, who is a smart guy and knows this sort of a thing. So this raises the question, in a world where there's way too much going on and we're all consuming so much media, how are we going to get our message in if our message isn't what somebody's actually sought out to go and look at? That's worth taking a look at as well. Hey, sometimes we talk about different famous YouTubers or what interesting things are going on in YouTube. I love when every now and again something comes along that's easily replicable and something that could really change the world for the better. This 8-year-old girl is using YouTube to read to children that are too sick for visitors. So this is called Books and Cookies. This is Shira's Story Corner, and you can basically have this girl, take a look at these girls' videos, and she's basically reading to people who are maybe in a situation where they can't have visitors. And I think that's just a really cool story. And I love that it's something that's completely replicable. You could do it. Anyone could do it. It's just super. Hey, podcasters, good news. You can now argue whether or not Apple's stats are right or not. They have now released podcast analytics service in beta. And so now podcasters can determine whether or not their stats are matching up to what they thought they would be, etc. The stats in podcasting have gone together like how can you monetize your podcast all the way back since I started first podcasting back in 2005. Lord only knows if this is ever going to come to any kind of real fruition where people all agree on the numbers and the information, but hey, whatever. IBM Watson is a supercomputer. It does some really interesting things, and I wanted to point to this quickly to this video where it shows Watson being used to discover insights in unstructured text. So this is interesting for a couple reasons. You can ask Watson what it thinks of a certain pile of text without any code knowledge whatsoever. So if you buy this as a service, you could have vast amounts of information, like a whole comment section of a blog, or a whole bunch of newsletters, or a whole bunch of Reddit or something like that. And you could analyze and find data from it without knowing a single line of code because of what Watson's already got built. So it's definitely worth checking out. And it's not all that expensive, actually. So it's a very interesting thing. Let's talk about creepy for a minute. It turns out that artificial intelligence keeps getting better in lots of ways, and sometimes ways that we don't really wish it would. AI has made it easier to create fake porn of just about anybody. There are now strange, weird fake porn with imagery of people like Gal Gadot and others acting as if they're in a porn movie, but they are not those people. There's always been some kind of a weird cult out there of people sort of photoshopping people over other photos and stuff like that. But this is getting to the point where it's hard to really distinguish the difference between a real person and a digitized actor. There was a 1980s sci-fi movie called Looker with Albert Finney and I think one of the Hemingway girls, Muriel or Margot, I forget which one. And it was talking about this sort of thing. It was talking about this future where, Hollywood would just start killing all the actors and using these digitized creatures. Well, this isn't that, but boy, it's a little spooky to think that whether or not you acted in a particular adult film, you might become an actor in an adult film because of the quality of artificial intelligence. Kind of spooky. Whew, I need a mental palate cleanser after that. I imagine you do too. The TSA has shared their list of the most crazy stuff confiscated in 2017. It's some pretty, obvious things like you'd imagine, like mini micro pistol shotguns, weapons hidden inside of what looks almost like a staple gun sort of a setup. Your typical, a cane that carries bullets and knives and blades and things like that. Your average machetes and swords because, you might need that on a plane. Your war axe. A whole bunch of rather pointy things, which makes sense. And every now and again, something kind of fun where, people hide multi-tools inside of bags of chips, or people try to hide guns inside their wheelchair cushion. It never gets old being a TSA. Oh, your typical hairbrush blade, because you might need to comb your hair and or stab a little bit. And all kinds of things like a keg of gunpowder and some coil, because you might want to bring that onto your plane and so on. So that's also on the list of things that you can read in my stories, chrisbrogan.com/CBM. Like I say always, you don't have to follow along with me. You can do this all on your own. You don't need my speed or whatever to get it all handled. Every year I look forward to this, and if you go to chrisbrogan.com/CBM, you can check it out for yourself. Every year DJ Earworm does his mashup of the United States of pop. And you get a sense of what kinds of songs are out there, what's interesting, and what's playing in through 2017. And so what's fun about this particular year is I don't think I knew hardly any of the songs on this year's State of Pop. It was kind of spooky. So if for some reason, you're feeling like you don't really know and you don't belong and you don't know any of the songs in this year's State of Pop, don't worry. You can always be in tune with Galactic Empire, which is the galaxy's greatest Star Wars metal band. Yes, why not? After you see The Last Jedi, click in, check out some Galactic Empire. Maybe it'll be the droids you're looking for. That's it. That's all my stories. As I say, there's a mix of culture, interesting stuff, trends, things I think might be of worth or value to your future, stuff you might want to pay attention to, and sometimes things that are downright damn creepy. Check out chrisbrogan.com/CBM to check this out. If you want to make a show like this yourself, you can do Ecamm Live. It is the easiest, coolest, simplest way to do Facebook for Mac. So worth it. Now I'm going to dig into that Nutella sandwich that my son made me. It's Nutella, marshmallow fluff, and some hot pepper on white bread. All right, I'm Chris Brogan. Talk to you later.